to Lots of Love and
Butter.
We're Bob and Liz,
AKA French and Freckles.
a couple who found love the second time around and have been savoring every moment, one bite, one adventure at a time.
From hidden gems in the heart of the city to must-see spots around the world.
We're here to share our passion for food, travel, and of course,
Each other. Get ready for fun tips, life stories, and our honest restaurant ratings, all served with a side of French formality
and Latin excitement. Join us every Sunday as we explore the world together.
one plate at a time.
Welcome to Lots of Love and
Butter.
what are we talking about today, Mr. Kroll?
I think it's a good idea if we talk about life and love the second time around. I know we mentioned it in our intro, but I think it's a good topic for discussion.
Okay, so are we talking to people who are single that are perhaps looking for love now?
Well, if you're not single and you're looking for love, that would be bad. So yes,
You know what I mean.
We're talking to all the single people out there who have been through a relationship, maybe not the greatest relationship, maybe a good relationship, but are no longer in that situation and are looking for the next chapter, next book in their life.
I feel like you're so far away. Can you come a little closer?
Like,
Okay, so we are talking to folks who are single, who are in the hopes and praying and trying to figure out, when they're going to eventually meet somebody.
That's correct. That's correct. Now, not everyone can have someone as beautiful and as amazing as this woman, but there is hope for everyone.
Ding,
There are
ding,
just a
ding.
lot of things that you can do, putting yourself out there. And so-
Okay, so let's talk about us then. How long were you single?
I was single and ready to mingle for 7 years. 7 years.
For 7 years you were single, and I was single for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, listen to this. Well, was it a year? Actually, I think it was more than a year.
You think? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, because then we started dating. Then after, okay. Regardless, it was within that year, and this is I think something that a lot of people don't talk about, and I think we should probably mention it. Is people should not be judgmental for the person who has been by themselves for 7 years, for 5 years, for 3 years. If you're single and you're happy single, that's an awesome thing.
Yeah.
But then you have other folks that are like me that I'm like, I can't be alone. I cannot be alone.
Well, that's not fair though, because I wasn't happy being single. I was in so many situations where there was no opportunities. I was raising my son. I was in the middle of Pennsylvania. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of, and I also got cancer in the middle of those.
In the middle of the 7 years,
So,
you
yeah.
had a health situation too.
Situation.
Yeah.
And it's not like I wasn't trying, but how can you go beyond? How can you leave your son? How can you know what I mean? Put yourself out there when you're taking care of the
somebody.
house and
Yeah.
your child and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So you have literally both sides here. So for the folks who are like, listen, I just now left a relationship. It's only been a couple of months and I'm already like, I need to be with somebody. I'm praying that God brings me somebody. What do I do? Where do I go? You don't have to feel bad that you are that person, because a lot of people are so judgmental that they're like, he couldn't even wait, and right away, or she couldn't even wait. But there are really people who they're healing, their heart's broken, but then they get to a place where, okay, I'm not the type to be by myself for 3, 4, 5 years.
Right.
I'm just thankful that you were the first and the only person that I dated.
Well, ain't nobody better.
And that to me was my fear. My fear was, oh my gosh, I'm going to date, and that's going to be devastating, especially to the eyes of those who are watching. Like, okay, well, that didn't work out, so now she's not with this person. Now she's with this person. And it's
but
trying to figure out, especially once you've already been in a relationship, you tend to be a little bit more picky.
And I want to say this too. If you are that type of person that needs to be in a relationship, you're not really comfortable alone. It's not really good alone. Going from one person to the next, depending on the level of that relationship, you got to try. Like, if you have those opportunities, you got to try. If it doesn't work, then don't blame yourself because it doesn't work. And don't really focus on what everyone else is saying or doing. Oh, you just went out with that guy? What happened? Didn't work. I'm moving on. guys have an easier time with it than
Than
women.
girls.
Yeah.
It's a double standard.
It's a double standard.
If a guy does it, it's okay. He's figuring things out.
Yeah.
You know, that girl's too chatty or has got a mouth on her or has too much baggage. But if a girl says that, well, I can't because he's this way or he can't keep a job.
Yeah.
So therefore I had to start talking to somebody else. They look at it like, ooh.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be the case.
But that should not be the case.
Don't live your life for somebody else. And even those 3 months you spent with some guy that maybe wasn't your fit, you learned a lot in those 3 months.
Say that again for the people in the back.
If you're with someone for 3 months and it doesn't work out, you learn more about yourself and like, you know what? This guy wasn't for me. Maybe he was too picky, too clean, too clingy, too mother's boy, you know, whatever they call mama's boy.
And you learn about yourself. That's the key part that you said. You learn, okay, these are the things that I don't like in a relationship. These are the things that I need to get better at. I'm not patient enough to be with a person like this, or I'm not whatever enough. And you tend to learn lessons about yourself. Even in our relationship, boy, did we learn lessons about ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a curve. Like, okay, so when you first meet someone and they're amazing and, you know, and you're in that in love stage, everything's wonderful and it's fantastic and, you know, you can get through anything together. It shifts. There's a period of time where that shifts over to now it's not so hot burning, you know, in love where
reality
it's
hits.
Reality. And in that reality, there's a deeper love. You have to get there. You have to be patient and you have to be willing to forgive.
And we're talking about the second time around. So when you say reality hits, it's okay, there's two families, there's children, there's their feelings, there's churches sometimes and different things. And it's like, that's when reality hits. Like, can we still be in this relationship above and beyond all the voices and all the misconceptions and things of that nature?
And sometimes you have to take yourself out of the location to continue your relationship. Like, take yourself away from
that's
all
a tip.
those negative people. But your relationship, if it's based on God and love and all that good stuff, is going to grow. Sometimes you just have to replot yourself.
Pick up and relocate. Sometimes that happens, and it gives you the opportunity of a fresh start and people seeing you with fresh eyes.
Your first relationship, your first marriage, your first failed relationship or successful one, that happened at a totally different time. You learn, you grow, you come out of it, and now you're this new person that people that you've known all your life can't accept.
I know you are not the way you were in your previous relationship.
I had hair. I mean, I had a lot. No, I'm just kidding.
He's a totally different
person.
And listen, because right now we're talking to single people and kind of giving them some tips. You know, for me, I prayed a lot, and my main prayer was on an airplane. I know a lot of people know this prayer. I've said this testimony a lot to folks because I have gotten so many messages of, you're glowing, you're different. It's the, you know, and they walked with me in my past. Right. So when they see this, they're like, okay, how did you do that? Okay, how could you possibly move forward when you were so attached to this other person, or there was so many years with this other person? And it's just a God thing. It really was praying and saying, Lord, this is what I want. And if it be your will, let it happen. And in 7 days, ta-da, literally, I met this guy.
In 7 years, see how the timing is different?
Oh my gosh.
I had the same prayer. I only prayed once. Like, I grew up Catholic. Everybody knows that. I converted to Christian when I met this young lady here. It was probably the best thing I ever did. But I realized there were points in time where God was talking to me and I wasn't listening. You know, and I got to the point where I was so frustrated after my first bout with cancer. I was like, okay, I was really specific. All right, look, God, and I've done it recently. I get kind of aggressive. I'm like, look, God, I'm looking for this woman. She's Puerto Rican with freckles and, you know, like I was super specific, you know, after I had my cancer. And yeah, it took a few years to get to her, but
it happened. 7 days. Your prayers are not in vain. When you're laying at night and you're in your bed and you're thinking, I do not want to be alone anymore. God, am I ready to have somebody? He is listening. He is your father and he loves you the same way we love our children as parents. He loves you and he wants companionship for you so that you're not alone. So you stay the track, Because when you yeah, stay the course, because when you least expect it, someone absolutely amazing is going to show up in your life.
Correct. And don't feel bad. Like I said before, if you have to find new people to find that new person.
Ooh, sometimes it's looking for a new set of a new community, you know, of group of people that will support you, will help pray for you, and know that God has something set up already for you and someone absolutely amazing for your future. So again, we're different. And we cannot frown upon those folks that, oh my God, you're still by yourself. Oh my God, how long is it going to take you to find somebody? There must be something wrong with her, or there must be something wrong with him. Ignore those voices. Ignore those people that are judgmental.
Don't let the voices in your head dictate what you do.
Yeah.
Because they're just trying to bring you down.
And just allow yourself this time that you are alone to draw closer to God. I remember when I was by myself, I did something called a 21-day mindset reset. Oh my God, that was so good. That was so good. So sometimes get yourself to a place where psychologically you think different. You kind of break down your old habits or old thought patterns so that when you get into a new relationship, you can say, whether that's breaking the chains of shame, of guilt, of condemnation, because after a divorce or after a broken relationship that was long lasting, you will go through shame, condemnation, guilt, and fight those things. So get to a place where you're working on yourself and there's self-growth happening and you're getting closer to God.
Yeah, I think that's also another tip. In your solitude, don't get comfortable. Comfort just causes isolation, depression, because you don't have other people to, either banter with or worry about. And I said something the other day that I'm trying to remember for myself is I need others to pull me out of my situation. I need somebody else's struggle, or so I can give my advice to help them get out of that. If you're single, living alone, and you're by yourself, and you're trying to figure out what to do, focus on God, focus on yourself, but also don't stay comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to sit there and play video games, or I'm going to go to the same bar I go to. Whatever it is, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to
think
change.
about others and what they may be going through and how you can help somebody else. In the meantime, keep yourself busy doing those things and being able to be a blessing to others. This is so good. This was a great topic.
I could keep going, but
I'm sure we can. So that's just a few tips for our single folks who are hoping and praying for love the second time around. I hope this has helped somebody, and we'll come back and we'll talk more about then once you're in it.
Yeah, and feel free to post questions, or just you can send us messages directly and say, hey,
DM us.
How did you deal with this? How is it being a stepdad? Like, there's
so many things. There's so many things that we can talk about and share.
I love this. This was fun. This was fun. Yeah.
We've learned so much.
We have. And we've only been together for 5 years now, so, not a long time, but.
We do not condone divorce.
No.
I don't know. Work it. The key is both people have to want to be in the relationship.
Right. You can't force your will on someone else.
You cannot. Not even God himself does that. He's given us free will. So how do people expect to stay in a marriage when one person doesn't want to stay in it? The person doesn't want to. And if both want to make it work, trust me, stick to it. Stay married. Do not sign the papers. Work at it. If you really love the other person, work at it. It's not, divorce is not fun. It is not fun. Absolutely not. Work at the marriage. Fight for the marriage. Know that there is love out there. The second time around, we are a witness to it. We're proof that it can happen, and you can absolutely be happy that you're not going to go through things. You are going to go through some things.
Yeah. Oh,
but
for sure.
Love is what keeps people together. And of course, the love of the Lord. So thank you so much for watching. Lots of love and lots of love. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Lots of Love and if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends.
Join us next Sunday for another savory topic.